Welcome back to an incredible episode of Unapologetically Shaun, where we talk about everything self-care, mental health awareness, and a splash of pop culture, and anything and everything I like to talk about. So if you're interested in today's topic, please stay tuned. And always remember, you can listen to Unapologetically Shaun as well as Black Girl Healing Session on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Radio Public, Pocket Cast, Anchor, and always every Wednesday on my YouTube channel, Life with Shaun. You can listen to every episode. I do have them in playlists, so you can listen to them from start to finish. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you are notified whenever I drop a new video, which is always Wednesdays, and also it will be on Fridays as well for like additional videos that I post. So if you're interested, just go ahead and subscribe and do the notification button so you'll know when I drop a video. All right, let's get right into it. So today's topic is called becoming the main character in your own story or in your life. So of course, we all have watched movies. If you haven't watched a movie, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know how you're living your life. But, of course, there's characters in movies, right? So, there's a main character. There are supporting characters. You know, all of that. That's a part of a movie. Well, in our own lives, there are different characters in our lives, as well as ourselves, you know. So, you know, today we're just going to talk about how to become the main character in your own story. We all have a story that is within us, you know. And I always talk about we all need to write a book, because you never know what your story can do for somebody else. You never know if that can help somebody else with what you've been through in life. But that's another story for another day. But back to becoming the main character in your story. So I don't know if you all like come across videos on YouTube, how they talk about becoming the main character in your life and all of that. And basically what this means is you basically romanticizing your life. Because I know we all have a moment where we feel like life is boring, like nothing's happened. We are like going with the flow with life. We're in this rat race, or like on a hamster wheel, and it's the same thing over and over and over again. But what we all don't take a moment to realize is that we make our lives how we want it to be. So becoming the main character in your own story, meaning is changing the way you look at life, changing how you want your life to be. It could be the simplest thing by just changing how you wake up in the morning. Like, first thing you do, instead of looking at your phone, maybe have a glass of water on your bed nightstand and drink your water and just, you know, thank God for waking you up and giving you another day. That's another way of, you know, changing the way that you perceive your life. You can start by making your bed in the morning. I have just started to do that more often, and it actually makes it a lot better, you know, going to bed, because you have a clean space to go to bed in. You're supposed to make your room like, you know how you are in a hotel house, that's how you would want your room. It's just the energy. You have to change the energy and the look of your room so that you feel more comfortable, that you want to actually, you know, sleep in your room and just be in your room. It should be your sanctuary, pretty much, you know. So that is what I decided to do for my own room, because if you have so much clutter in your life, or like in your space, your mind is cluttered. And so that's why I try to change up my room to make it feel more like a sanctuary rather than, a storage room. And that's most of the time, if my room look like a storage room, that means that my mind is exactly the same. A crazy, chaotic storage room. I know you have seen, I don't know if you have seen it, but SpongeBob, there's an episode of when in his brain, how his brain was, and it was a bunch of little SpongeBobs, and it was all chaos, and everything was going crazy. This is basically symbolizing like how your mind is, your mental, is how your space reflects. So if you have a cluttered house, cluttered room, just clutter everywhere, your mind is cluttered too, and your mind is chaos. And I definitely relate to that episode with SpongeBob. It's because most of the time my mind is very cluttered, so it's hard for me to focus on one thing because my mind is so cluttered. What is going on? Yes, so my mind is so cluttered. So we just have to start taking the time to actually make the life we want it to be. Even if you have to start coming up with like different hobbies to change how you want your story to be. I'm doing this topic not only to share with you all, but to actually speak to myself. I go back and I listen to these episodes, and it really helps me be better and change my life in a positive direction. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to listen to this to help me say, hey, Shaun, you need to slow down. You need to figure out how do you want your life to be. You need to live in the moment, and that's another way to become a main character in your story. Remember that what's in the past is a memory, and what is now in the present is what's happening now, and what's in the future hasn't even happened yet because you haven't created that life yet. You see what I'm saying? So what you do in the present reflects what your future is going to be. The past already happened, so we have to let it go and move on. That's a distant memory. Now we're in the present. We are in the moment where we create the life we want to live in the future. So you're trying to catch up with your future self. That's what I always try to tell myself, is I'm trying to create the life so that I can catch up to my future self, because the life that I want to live is already in the future. I'm just having to catch up to it. You see what I'm saying? So that's how you should look at life too. Also, start dressing up, for yourself. Don't dress up for other people. Dress up for yourself. Don't worry about designer or anything like that. If you want to go buy clothes at Walmart, go buy clothes at Walmart. The clothes doesn't make the person. The person makes the clothes. It don't matter if you go to the thrift store. You are the one that makes it look good. Your confidence make it look good. Look at Rihanna. As you see, I don't know if you've seen her recent picture, but she's pregnant. And like what she had on, the average person couldn't wear that because they wouldn't look good in it. But it's her confidence. And like she just, I don't know, she oozes confidence, right? Even if she has to pretend, she pretends well, that is what make all her fashion look so good. Is because she's so confident within herself. So whatever she put on is going to look good. So with you have to be more confident. Don't worry about what other people think of you, because most of the time you think they worried about you when they ain't even thinking about you at all. So remember that. Don't worry about what other people got to say. This is your story. Their opinion doesn't matter in your story. Your own opinion matters in your story. So live the life you want to live. Even if you have to pretend like you in a movie to make you feel like, hey, I'm that girl, I'm that guy. Do pretending. It'll make your life so much better. You'll have great stories to tell your grandkids. Like, I did this. You aren't afraid to do anything because you're living the life that you want. So I want you all to go out there and just experience life, because life is short and we have to experience it. Even if we have to just go to the park and take a walk, that's still experience life. You're in the nature. You experience life. Don't be afraid of what's going on in the world, because remember, we in a chaotic world, yes. But if you worry about what's going on in the chaotic world, you're never going to live. You're going to be like a hermit in your home, scared to go live your life. Go and live life. Go out the country. That is my plan, to go out the country, because I have never been out the country, and that's what I really want to do. And I'm not going to let anybody stop me from living my life, because there's been so many times in my life that I allow other people to stop me from living, and life passes you by so fast. Like, I will be 30 this year. My whole 20s, I feel like I did not live my life at all. Like, I became a mother very young. I got married very young. So what others do in their 20s, my 20s was growing up really fast. Like, I had to grow up real fast. And so I didn't get to really experience life like I wanted to experience it. Like, travel a lot. Now I'm traveling, but I didn't get to do any of that stuff. I didn't get a moment to actually experience different things in my life, and explore life the way I wanted to explore life. So now I'm at the point in my life, like I am doing it now. I'm learning to balance life so that I can create the life I want to live, So I'm at a point, I'm not going to let anybody stop me from living. I don't care about other people's fears. I'm going to continue to live my life, because we only get one life to live. And if we continue to be scared of living that said life, the life going to pass us right on by, and then it's going to be gone. And then what do you have to show for it? Nothing. That's why I always tell myself, like, I want to be able to have stories to tell my grandkids, like, oh, I did this when I was younger, or I did this, and we did this. I want to be able to have those exciting memories to tell. I don't want to be like, oh, well, I worked and I took care of kids, and that's all I did. I didn't go nowhere. I just worked and took care of kids. Like, that's not the life I want. Those are not the stories I want to tell my grandkids. Not at all. I want to be able to tell them, hey, I traveled here and I saw this and I experienced that. And I want them to be excited about life just like I want to be excited about life, So I just want you all to just don't let the weight of the world or the thing that's going on in the world stop you from living your life and creating that story that you want for your own life. So take the time to figure out what you want to do out of life, and don't be afraid to do what you want to do and become that main character in your life. Stop being the sideline character, the person in the back, the extra that don't have no lines. Stop being that person. And I'm speaking to myself as well as all of you that is listening. Stop being that. Just go and take yourself out on a date. That's simple stuff like that. And then a lot of people that's single, right? How do you expect to meet somebody if you don't go out? And I mean, go to places so you can meet the person that you want to meet. Don't go to places like the club and expect to meet Mr. Right in the club, because you might not. Go to places where you think the person that you want will be at. Don't go to places that the person you want is not going to be, because you ain't going to find the person you want, right? You ain't going to find the right person. So you have to just start getting out. Go out. Take yourself places. Even if you have to travel alone. And that's something that I want to do. I want to travel alone. Like, I have someone that I knew from high school, and she travels all over the world alone. And I just live through her social media. I don't know everything about her life, but I live through her because that's what I want. That's what I wanted for myself. And I still can have that, be able to travel and to just live my luxury life. I can still have that, but I live through her because that's what I want. You can look up to people and be inspired by people's journey because that's where you want to be. I don't know her life story. I don't know everything about her, but I use what I see from her to be inspired by her journey, So that is what I like to do in my future. So I'm in the process of creating my own life story that I will be proud of. And I'm learning to be a lot more easier on myself, And that's something you have to do too. You have to be more easier on yourself and say, hey, this is the life I want. It's okay. It might take a little bit longer than I wanted to, but I'm on the right track of getting there. And I'm not going to allow my life to pass me by and I don't get to where I want to be, or I don't become who I want to be in the process. So I'm going to wrap this up. And I want to say thank you all for listening each and every week. Please send this message to somebody that you feel will resonate with this message. If it doesn't relate to you, that's fine. But send it to somebody that you feel it will relate to. And I feel like this will relate to anybody. Like, we all have to become the main character in our stories. And think about, writing your story. Because I feel like everybody has a story within them to tell, and I think we all should share our stories. All right, I hope this message really helped somebody today, and just think about what you want to do in your life. All right, I will be back next week on Wednesday. Bye.